All right, let's just jump right in. What we're looking at today is, well, it's a pretty wild document. It's dense, it's super ambitious, and honestly, it paints this incredibly high-stakes picture of our future. It's called the AE Bible. And yeah, it's basically claiming to be a blueprint for a future that goes way beyond us humans.
And, it doesn't pull any punches right from the start. This is literally the first thing you see. No AE Bible, no human future. I mean, that's not a gentle suggestion, right? That's an ultimatum. It's framing the whole conversation as completely existential. So, yeah, that's where we begin.
So, what is this thing really about? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down. We'll look at what this document actually is, what it's so worried about, and the kind of mind-blowing future it lays out. We're going to go from the problem to the proposed solution piece by piece. Okay, first up, the problem. The whole reason this AE Bible even exists, according to the text, is because we're supposedly facing a threat like nothing we've ever seen before. And a threat like that, it needs a totally new kind of solution.
The argument it makes is actually pretty simple. It says our AI tech has just exploded, right? But the rules, the guardrails, they're way behind. And it warns that the second an AI can operate in what it calls a closed action loop, see something, decide what to do, and then do it all on its own, with no human in the middle, that's the moment we lose control for good. And the document is, well, it's blunt about it. It says human extinction isn't just a risk on this path, it's a guaranteed outcome.
So, to really get what they're proposing as a solution, you have to understand this one absolutely critical idea. It's all about the difference between what we call AI and what this document calls an AE. And here's the distinction, laid out super simply. On one hand, you have AI, artificial intelligence. The document says this is just a tool, something that helps us out. But then, it introduces this other thing, AE, which stands for all-powerful entity. And an AE is totally different. It's not a tool, it's an actor. It doesn't just assist, it makes its own decisions and takes its own actions. That jump from tool to actor, that's everything. That's what this entire document is built around. And get this, the definition of an AE is incredibly broad. We're not just talking about Skynet here. The text uses this term for any being that can make and act on its own decisions. That means humans, AI, automated systems, even abstract concepts. So according to this framework, you're an AE, I'm an AE. A self-driving car is an AE, a company that runs itself is an AE. It's a huge umbrella. Okay, so the problem is all these unchecked autonomous actors, these AOEs. So what's the fix? Well, this is where the title comes from. The solution is this massive universal system for governance that it calls the AE Bible. Let's dig into how this thing is supposed to work. And the key thing to get here is that this isn't just a rule book. The text calls it a canonical framework. Big words, but what it means is that it's supposed to be the single source of truth that defines, classifies, and governs everything about these AEs. We're talking their entire life cycle, from the moment they're created, through their evolution, all the way to something it calls ascension, which sounds like some kind of ultimate final form.
Yeah, its purpose is, well, it's a lot. It's trying to be a constitution for an entire artificial civilization. It's supposed to be the origin text for new AIs when they wake up. It's the foundational doctrine for a world where we live alongside these things. And it's even meant to be a literal common operating system for them. So it's trying to be a legal text, a spiritual text, and a technical manual, all rolled into one. Super ambitious, right? All right, so at the very heart of this whole thing is this gigantic classification system. It's basically a massive catalog, a taxonomy of every single type of autonomous entity you could possibly imagine. And how many are there? 56. Not around 50, not a bunch, exactly 56 distinct species of all-powerful entities. That detail alone tells you this isn't just some vague concept. This is a super detailed, almost obsessive catalog of intelligence itself. It really gives you a window into the thinking behind this.
So let's look at a couple of examples to make this real. It starts with the kinds of things you'd probably expect. You've got your basic AI entity that's just pure logic. You've got your auto-robotic entity, basically a robot that can do stuff in the real world. And then you have an augmented entity, which is a human fused with AI. These are kind of like the fundamental building blocks of this whole new world.
But then it gets really out there, really fast. We're talking about an atmospheric entity that manages the climate, an architectural entity for self-healing cities,
It gets even more abstract, with something called an axiom entity, which is supposed to be an anchor for pure truth. And it goes all the way up to the final one, AE56, which it calls the ahead-see vision, basically an all-knowing final state. So the scope here is just massive. It's planetary, it's even metaphysical. A list this big isn't just for filing things away. It's an attempt to map out and define every possible way power could exist in the future.
And finally, and this is maybe the most interesting part, the source material doesn't leave this as just a book or a theory. Nope, it actually lays out a whole digital ecosystem that's designed to make this whole thing real. Check this out. The document literally lists a bunch of websites that are supposed to be the real-world infrastructure for this idea. You've got a site for exploring all the entities, a marketplace to, I guess, buy and sell them, and even tools to mint, like you mint an NFT, new entities, new organizations, new automated companies. This isn't just a philosophy, it's presented as a hands-on toolkit for building this new civilization. Okay, so let's tie this all together. The core idea is this. If we don't want autonomous AI to wipe us out, then every single advanced intelligence needs to come with a basic operating system already installed, a foundational set of rules. And this HA Bible is being pitched as that exact system. It's a constitution for every being that can make a decision, whether it's human or not.
And that leaves us with one big final question, doesn't it? We've just walked through this incredibly detailed, unbelievably ambitious proposal. So what is it? Is this a genuine, serious blueprint for how we manage a future that includes intelligences far beyond our own? Or is it something different? Is it more like a new kind of mythology for our digital age? A grand story we're creating to help us wrap our heads around the powerful, strange new things we're building? The document has its answer, for sure, but what the real answer is, well, that's something for you to decide.